It is king cake season and time for the king cake off. We have details on the fun event that raises money for big brothers, big sisters of the Central Gulf Coast.
Also, our sister station in Baton Rouge is making a wild boar barbecue sandwich just in time for your Super Bowl tailgate. We'll have more on that coming up in just a little bit, but welcome into our second hour of Studio 10. I'm Jennifer Lampers.
And I'm Joe Emer. We were talking about movies last hour, continuing that because dinosaurs will once again appear on the big screen this summer.
Jurassic World Rebirth will open on July 2nd, and the trailer just dropped this morning.
We need DNA from the 3 biggest dinosaurs.
Do we have to get a sample from an egg?
I suppose we could try and get it from the parent, but they're a flying carnivore the size of an F-16.
In the film, Scarlett Johansson's character gets stranded on an island while she's trying to secure genetic material from the dinosaurs.
So the island holds a decades-old secret about humanity. The cast includes Jonathan Bailey, Mahershala Ali, and Rupert Friend.
So I heard a lot of y'all talking about Jonathan Bailey. What was he in?
Bridgerton. So he was in Bridgerton
Okay.
mainly, but and also he was in Wicked.
He's in Wicked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's like the prince,
the love
type
interest. Yeah,
guy
I can't
or
think of his
whatever
name
it
right
is.
now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I know who that dude is now. Here's my thing. Let's say you like mac and cheese, right? But all of a sudden you eat mac and cheese for a week straight. By the end of it, even if you like mac and cheese, you're sick of it. That's my analogy with Jurassic Park. It was awesome to start off with. Jurassic Park, the original, was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in a movie theater when it came out. But now it's just like, However, it sounds like they're going a slightly different direction with this storyline. They have to secure the genetic material to help fight some disease or cancer or something like that. So I'm hopeful that with a new cast, a new storyline, maybe we'll feel a little bit different. Because right now I'm just eating mac and cheese all the time.
I love Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I love Jurassic World. The original one, when it first came out, it was fantastic. And I don't know if it was, I think the 3rd one that they came out, I don't know if this is the 4th installment of it, where they take, spoiler, they take the dinosaurs and put them in like a millionaire's basement.
Right.
That's where you lost me. As soon as you are taking these dinosaurs and you're putting them in little cages in a basement in a home, I'm just like, no. I'm glad that they're taking it back to the island.
Right.
I think it should have stayed there. I think once they started to downsize the size and the strength of these dinosaurs, you lost me.
Well, it was cool when it was like, hey, that's a Apatosaurus or whatever it is. Now it's just like, hey, this is an Apatosaurus on steroids that's genetically infused with it. It's like, all right, let's
tone it down
chill a little bit. So hopefully a revamped storyline for Jurassic Park.
I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
Well, a group of celebrities are suiting up for this year's Met Gala.
The Met's Costume Institute says it's bringing back a host committee for this year's gala, which will feature a variety of celebrities in various fields.
The more than 20-person committee will include Simone Biles, Spike Lee, Usher, Audra McDonald, along with previously announced hosts Pharrell Williams, Lewis Hamilton, Coleman Domingo, A$AP Rocky, and LeBron James.
What a lot of variety in those names. The Met Gala's dress code is tailored for you, which will focus on suiting and menswear.
Now, the gala is set for May 5th, and the Superfine Tailoring Black Style exhibit will open on May 10th.
People in the fashion world love this event. You're always going to see something you've never seen before. And again, I think this is one of the most eclectic mix of names that I've seen coming together for this. So if this is something you're into, it's going to be unique this year.
It really always is unique things going on social media afterwards, and you kind of see the crazy fashion, the cool fashion with it. Sometimes we get some really good memes out of it that I enjoy.
Yes.
And so it's always something fun just to check out on social media.
Yeah, I'm sure when it happens, we'll have some of the footage from it for you, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you're looking for a romantic comedy that also brings the action, led by a pair of, Oscar winners, the film might just check all of your boxes.
Ke-Huy Quan and Ariana DeBose star in Love Hurts. Quan plays Marvin, a successful realtor whose past as a violent hitman comes back to haunt him.
Now, it's a role Quan almost didn't take. He was offered it twice, once before he won a Best Supporting Oscar for Everything Everywhere All at Once, great movie, and again right after the win.
Quan said he'd never been in a place where he got to choose his role, but ultimately accepted. This will be his first major leading role. He's been in a ton of stuff dating back to when he was a kid with Goonies and Indiana Jones, but now a leading frontman.
And it is in theaters right now.
Yeah, so cool stuff if you definitely want to go check that out. Looks like an action-packed blockbuster popcorn film.
And he's real entertaining for the things that I've been seeing him in. That Everything Everywhere All at Once was a great movie too. And so, I don't know, it's out right now if you're looking for something just to do for Valentine's Day, especially even if you do it like the Sunday after or the Tuesday before, it's discounted movie prices.
Right.
So if you're looking to save some money, something to check out.
Yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once was frenetic, like in its pacing and energy. I think this looks kind of similar in that it's high-paced.
I love it.
When the weather is pleasant, but especially when it's not, there are the men and women who keep us informed and help plan our days. Wednesday is the day to celebrate them. Happy National Weather Person's Day, Jen.
Thank you. Now, officially, February 5th marks the birthday of John Jeffries, who was born on this day in 1744. Considered one of America's first weather observers, he kept detailed records for decades.
The day also serves to honor all of those who work in meteorology and weather forecasting, either on TV or radio. Behind the scenes, there's a lot of different avenues where you can do that. We're in some of our Fox 10 footage of our storm trackers and our weather team and our meteorologists here. It's also a recognition of storm spotters, observers, and others in the industry. What led you into this field, Jen? Why did you decide, hey, I want to be a meteorologist?
I think growing up in Kansas is that you always have, there was always the Toto jokes and Wizard of Oz jokes, but I mean, we really did have severe weather, and we had all 4 seasons. We could go from extreme cold to extreme heat. It was super windy there, that's what I remember, but also the tornado warnings. And so I think my sophomore year of high school, around the time of the tornado outbreak in North Alabama, there was also one in Joplin, Missouri. And so I skipped my homecoming dance to go down for a mission trip for the relief efforts there. And I think just seeing the destruction in that area, I mean, homes completely obliterated. And I think that was what really sparked it in me of like, oh, like there could be a difference here of the lead time and the warnings of what we try and do on air to try and get some of those warnings out. And so my junior year of high school, I was sitting down at the kitchen table with my dad, and he said, what do you want to do with your life? Like, I don't know where I'm going to go to college. I don't know what I'm going to do. And the weather came on, and it was the big top story of the night. We had severe storms rolling into Kansas City, and he looked at it, he said, what about that? And so I did 30 minutes of research. And I was like, you know what? I want to do it. And so that was what did it.
That is a super cool backstory. And with advancements in weather forecasting, especially here on the Gulf Coast, with not only the hurricanes we have, but also the tornadoes have picked up in the state of Alabama for sure. It truly is life-saving. So thank you for what you do. And nothing dangerous to talk about today.
Right, nothing dangerous to talk about here. That's going to be the good news. We actually have great weather, and to be able to start in this market too is so nice and so fun, because not only is Mobile a great place to live, but the weather that we have here too, it just varies so much. Luckily, I normally don't have to deal with the snow, which is one of the hardest things to forecast. So I'm glad about that. But I mean, we have beautiful days like today where it's feeling spring-like. We have some of that cloud cover out there right now. The visibility, it's improving, really noticing those differences on the eastern shore there. We went from 2 miles to 10 miles just in the past hour. And so we're slowly starting to see a lot of that beginning to mix out. But there's still limited visibility closer towards Mobile Bay. Now, you can't really see much there. Wow. This is going to be the battleship camera at the Navigator Credit Union live view. You can just start to see some of those boats there. They have the cranes on them. They're doing some construction down there. So you can just barely see that, can barely see the bridge of the Bayway. So just make sure that you're driving carefully. I mentioned it earlier. Double check that your headlights are on. That way you're visible to other drivers, especially it's the tail lights you want during this time. That way they're not only illuminating just when you brake and it's a very last minute thing. That way everyone sees you. Now, heading further on into this afternoon, temperatures, they're going to be maxing out in the mid-70s, well above average by about 12 to 14 degrees. It's going to be feeling great out there. A little gray, a little gloomy with some of those clouds sticking around, but just take a nice stroll outside, walk around with the windows, or drive around with the windows down out there, take your pups out for a walk, just find an excuse to get outside. But looking ahead, we are going to be seeing more of those foggy mornings to begin the day, and we're going to be continuing to feel spring-like even heading into the early part of next week. But I'll talk more about your extended outlook coming up in just a bit.
A warm start to February for sure.
It really, if it stays like this for Mardi Gras, I'm okay with that. I'm happy with
We've
that.
had some very cold Mardi Gras broadcasts, so if we get there and it's a little bit warmer, I'm okay with that too. Scooter's Coffee is expanding. We're talking with the owner of the newest location in Daphne just ahead.
And also the King Cake Off is this Friday, how you can get your tickets to this family-friendly fundraising event that's coming up after the break. Who has the best king cake on the Gulf Coast? Well, guess what? You can be the judge at the 7th annual King Cake Off. Here today to tell us more about it is Amy Risser, and with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and also Rusty Shaw with PNC. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thrilled to be here.
And so this is one of my favorite events here on the Gulf Coast because you go with an appetite, you are set. And so we've had you both on before, but for anyone unfamiliar with the King Cake Off, just tell me a little bit about it.
Absolutely. So it has become our largest fundraiser, thanks in part to PNC being our presenting sponsor. But it's also the community involvement. I mean, we've sold out every year. We expect to sell out in the next day or two. And it's a fundraiser for us. But what I love is it is one-stop shopping for all things king cake inspired, traditional king cake. You get to come taste. It's very family friendly. It's a great night.
It really is. I was able to be a judge a few years back, and I was set afterwards. I mean, it's fantastic, especially because people get creative with it. It's not just typical king cake. There's ice cream, there's coffee, some of the different varieties that they have there. And so, Rusty, just talking a little bit about PNC and your involvement with it, what does it mean for you guys to be able to do this?
It's awesome. We're thrilled to be back. Third year in a row as presenting sponsor for the 7th annual King Cake Cook-Off. Similar to the community comments, we live, work here in Mobile. We watch our presence grow, but we're here to support the communities and support the premier, really mentoring organization across the Gulf Coast. And really the partnership's grown with Amy and I and Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and looking forward to a really fun event Friday night.
And we're so excited for it. And so you get delicious food. There's fun shopping too. There's sometimes some vendors set up there.
Yes, we have
and
merch
then
vendors.
Also, you're doing it for a great cause too. And so just reminding folks, what is Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Central Gulf Coast?
Thank you, and thank you for your comments as well. We try to position ourselves as a premier mentoring organization. All of our services are offered free to the families that we serve and our volunteers, but we're the largest one-to-one professionally supported mentoring organization in the United States, but also here in our local market. And as a Big Sister, I will tell you, it's just such a beautiful thing that everybody in the relationship, the family, the littles, our bigs, would argue who gets the most out of these relationships. It's just really beautiful, and everyone is better for it.
And luckily our Ariel Mallory, she also is a participant in it. She's a Big Sister. And we recently had you guys here at our station, and they were just talking about there's so many kids that are wanting to get involved with it, but you guys need bigs. And so if someone is interested in doing this, how can they go about finding more information?
Yeah, find us. We're Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Central Gulf Coast. You can find us on social media, visit our website. I want to give out my cell phone number, but I mean, just find us.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, it is, you'll never regret it. Every big always says, I wish I would have done it sooner. No one ever says, I'm so glad I waited. Yeah. No, find the time and you'll be a better community member, a better parent, better person from the experience.
And so we're almost out of time here, but also I want to talk about what you brought up here. And so you have a king cake here. Who supplied this king cake?
Yes, so this came from a new vendor this year. It was Glazed Donuts in Daphne. We have vendors from Baldwin County to Mississippi. So everybody would know them for their donuts.
Yes.
But they also make a custom king cake. And so that's what we love about our event. We have a lot of favorites, a lot of obvious vendors that are our people's favorites, but it's fun to come and discover a new vendor, new things, and all in one place. And when I was picking that up, she was like, I might try something inspired too. I was like, okay, come on.
Try it, try it. I mean, this is your time to try it.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned you guys still have tickets. How can folks buy those?
Yes, so visit kingcakeoff.com, and we expect to sell out by tomorrow.
By tomorrow.
Yeah, and so don't wait. I mean, it's $5 for children, $15 for adults. It's at the convention center this year, and don't wait. It's so heartbreaking when we sell out. We have to tell people no.
I was going to say, truly one of my favorite events. So thank you for everything that you're doing for the folks on the Gulf Coast. Thank you guys so much for being the presenting sponsor once again. And so as always, we're going to have all of the information for the King Cake Off, Big Brothers Big Sisters, and PNC on our website, fox10tv.com, under the Studio 10 tab. But again, thank you both so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. See you on Friday.
Yeah.
See you on Friday, Joe. Oh, it is one of my favorites. And hey, if you got a pup cup too, then I just know know that you made a dog's day. Well, coming up, we're going to be talking about tips and tricks on how to maximize your paid time off with an expert. Plus, also, I'm going to be talking more about your forecast. As mentioned before we headed to break the last time, I'm talking about more of those foggy mornings and also how we're continuing to feel spring-like into next week. But I'll be breaking down more of what you can expect heading into this weekend. That's coming up when we come back. Employees across the nation are already eyeing their calendars, dreaming of getaways, long weekends, spring breaks, and summer vacations. However, recent data reveals a surprising trend. 50% of vacation time goes unused each year. Now, Roxy Cows joins us now to share tips and advice on securing and making the most of your time off. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Well, starting off first, what's standing in the way of stopping folks from taking their vacation days into 2025?
So there are a number of factors that are standing in the way of us taking our vacation time in 2025. Workload pressure, job security, smaller team sizes. We're saving that time for an emergency. Recent data shows that people are leaving a lot of time on the table, which equates to billions in lost time that could be used to recharge and connect with loved ones. We're in a work-first culture, and so we feel bad for taking time off.
I know a lot of folks that have that kind of thinking and have been doing that, just saving some of their PTO and not quite using it. And so I understand that you have something that's called the Time Off Toolbox. What exactly is that?
Yeah, so Choice Hotels, the company that has Radisson, Cambria, Comfort, Country Inn and Suites, and 18 other brands, is helping us to take our time off, to maximize our time off. Choice Hotels partnered with actor, writer Keegan-Michael Key to launch Choice Hotels TimeOffToolbox.com, which is filled with helpful tips, tricks, and tools to help us to take that time off, maximize our time off, even ask our boss for time off, which can be very difficult to do. I'm a millennial. I work in corporate. I wish I had these tools 10 years ago. You have to check it out.
And so focusing more on the millennials, now that they're all starting to enter into that workforce, why is it especially useful for them?
So it's especially useful for millennials because we have struggled historically with this and taking our time off. So Choice Hotels is helping us to do that and making it easy for us to handle things like, what should my vacation responder be? What should I share with my boss? And since Choice Hotels is handling that, that allows us to then work on how do we maximize our time off. And there's a few ways that are top of mind as I think about like maximizing our time off is one, scheduling it around major holidays like Memorial Day or July 4th, where like when those days fall on a Monday and a Friday, if you just take one day off, now it feels like you have a longer vacation. You have 4 days. And another way to maximize your vacation is by using rewards. So for example, Choice Privileges and booking directly on the hotel website. So you can, you get points for your stay, you can redeem those points for additional stays and so many other perks.
So many perks to keep in mind. And also I've just recently done that vacationing around some of the holidays. Recently we had one in January with MLK. And I think you're right, it really made it feel longer and you only get to use less PTO days. So keep something in mind. And so Roxy, a lot of information there. I know our viewers are really intrigued with it. How can they go about finding more information?
Yeah, so for those watching, to find additional information, you can visit Choice Hotels TimeOffToolbox.com, where there's 3 O's in tool for OOO, out of office.
I love it. And as always, we're going to have all of that information on our website as well, fox10tv.com, under the Studio 10 tab. But thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Joe. Well, in today's What's Cooking, we're checking in with our sister station in Baton Rouge. They're making a Super Bowl tailgating dish, a wild boar barbecue sandwich. Check it out. Big game bites, and we had Vanessa earlier, we had Joe earlier in the week, and now it's our producer for the 9 a.m. hours turn, Danielle. So Danielle, what are you making for us today?
Well, we're making friendship bracelet kebabs inspired by my favorite, Taylor Swift, aka Travis Kelce's girlfriend.
Yes. And so this is something that we figured Danielle would do. She's always been a Taylor Swift fan. And so now incorporating the Chiefs into it, because, I mean, we need it after Joe and V both did.
I did Philly cheesesteaks. Hers was green and white. So
With
yes.
Philadelphia cream cheese.
So explain to me what we have here, and also what should we be doing while we're talking?
Okay, so you guys already started writing
Okay.
your marshmallows, so we can start decorating your kebabs. Depending which team you want to decorate for, I have strawberries and cheddar cheese, and then I have a white cheese to go for the Eagles with the grapes, the green grapes.
Okay.
Cute.
So this is Jen's Travis Kelce jersey, and this hat is what my friends gave me because it's a Taylor Swift hat, and they thought I would like it, and I do.
So take me into the mind of a Swiftie, because I have nothing against Taylor Swift, but I'm watching for the game. So what do you hope to see on Super Bowl Sunday?
I hope to see her. Let's be honest, Joe. The reason why I watched the championship game was to see her, and why I watched the trophy presentation for her. I wanted to see her on the field.
Wow.
And she performed 3 nights in New Orleans when she was on tour. And so now she gets to go back.
And I got to go.
Yep, and you got to go.
So that was exciting. I was like, she's coming back to New Orleans. She has said that she loved it. Whenever we were at the concert, she said she loved the city.
What if she's lying?
I don't think so. She would not do that to me.
So there was a rumor, I don't think it's true, but what do you think about the rumor that she'll take the stage with Kendrick Lamar and SZA?
I think that she's
interesting.
not going to take away the moment from her man. So
There's a rumor that he might propose to her. Is that true?
I don't know. He said in an interview, "Wouldn't you like to know?"
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
I didn't hear that.
Wow.
Well,
We're
I'll
getting
be
all the
watching.
gossip here, football and Taylor
know.
Swift.
Well, I feel like the Chiefs would have to, for that to even be a possibility,
the
the
Chiefs
Chiefs
have
have
to
to win.
win.
Right.
So like,
Come on, Chiefs. Come on. Let's get a proposal in there.
do people want them to get married?
I mean, I think so.
I think the fans do.
I mean, she's so happy. At
feel
least
like-
it seems like they're
I feel like the
happy.
haters want them to break up.
Are my questions good?
They are
think
good.
so.
They're good. Now,
You're hitting me with some really
Danielle,
hard
question
Swiftie
about
questions.
this. Do people just eat this, or this is just for decoration? Are you eating marshmallow with cheese?
I don't know if you want to.
Okay,
I figured
okay.
people would want to eat the fruit and the
maybe we
cheese
should add 'em
separately.
to
It was
the
kind of
bowl.
like a charcuterie, but on a stick. Kind of.
Jeez, you took up every single space, Jen Lambert.
I'm sorry.
Vanessa, do you want a
Who's my
friendship
Nola?
bracelet?
Oh yeah, let's trade bracelets.
No,
Oh, I don't have one
that
for
was a
you,
good
but
idea.
Nola. I put Nola because I
Here.
couldn't think of anything else.
Thank you.
There you go.
So cute.
And then
Yeah,
also,
you can have a
I should add
bracelet.
that these
Wow.
are edible color markers that she
That is
purchased
so cute.
too.
Oh, yes.
They're called Food Writer.
And I call the Super Bowl, I'm calling it Swift Bowl on Sunday. So that's my party.
And we got to go, but my bracelet you gave me says delicate.
Mine says Ivy.
I don't know what that means, but that's
From
cool.
Reputation, which we're hoping
Who
for
dat?
Taylor's version.
Okay.
So cute, Danielle. These came out cute.
Yeah, so we've been talking about the Super Bowl all week long, and visitors are arriving in New Orleans, and will they be treated with the sights of many New Orleans pieces?
Maddie Kurth with our sister station WVUE shows us how one artist is leaving his delicate mark on Poydras Street.